Okay, welcome to episode 116 of Free Things with Ian. This is April 26th. We're still in April. Seems like it's been a kind of a long month. We're nearing the end. Anyway, it is good to see you. Yes, I coached some soccer. That is not new. Tied 1-1. Another game tomorrow. It's been a fun tournament so far. Today was good weather at least. We determined that my team does not play well in the rain. We do not play well at the wet field. So today was a much nicer a break from the action in terms of weather, and it was fun. So let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about humility in regards to a certain human being on the internet that you may have heard of. Let's talk about all things Mexican food. I'll do some more hot takes on that, or maybe some cold takes. We'll talk a little soccer, of course, and we'll talk zoos pivoting to different activities as a way to increase their revenue stream. So without further ado, let's jump in. I posted a YouTube short that got a little bit of traction earlier. It was in regards to Shedeur Sanders, who was many experts who were paid a lot of money thought he would be like the number 2 pick in the draft. He is the son of Deion Sanders. He's brash, egotistical, a bit of a narcissist, a good athlete, better quarterback than I, no question there. But he was as of this taping, he was selected in the 5th round, the 144th pick. So he had a massive slide. And let me preface this by saying I am not the person who delights in others' misfortune. I am not that person. I am remaining neutral in terms of my feelings personally, but Shedeur Sanders is one of those individuals who I think needs to hear it from not just myself, but others, that humbleness and humility go a long way. Even in pro sports, even in the NFL, where yes, quarterbacks get the most attention, they get the most praise, they get the most acclaim. The way that he conducted himself was not representative of a first-round pick. NFL executives were not shy in saying he had a terrible interview, one of the worst they'd ever have. I am a huge proponent that the name, the number, and the name, the school, the team, on the front of the jersey means a hell of a lot more than the name on the back. His antics, his jersey being retired after one season, his driving around Lamborghinis and flouting his NIL wealth, just didn't leave a good taste in my mouth, and apparently in many NFL executives. I coach youth soccer, where we do not have celebrities, we do not have star professional athletes. It is a team-based game, and there are no names on the uniforms. You are part of a team. You are part of a collective organization, and you win and lose by the caliber of and the way you conduct yourself on the field and the way that you play as a team, as a unit. So check out my YouTube short where I kind of lean in a little more, give you a little more of that juice, that fire behind me. But he was finally selected. It was a far cry. The memes on the internet were a little harsh, saying that the Pope would be selected before he got picked, and that he spent more on his NFL draft room than his rookie contract will be, and the fact that he doesn't have a jersey to go back to since he retired it if he wasn't selected. So I am by no means delighting in this person has not had a good week, a couple of good days. He is kind of the laughingstock of the internet, but I do think that he has conducted himself in a manner that was unprofessional and a bit silly, and it ended up costing him. He could have an excellent career. He's going to Cleveland. Enjoy the winter. That's all I got to say, buddy. Enjoy. So anyway, number 2 story. Let's talk a little bit about tacos. This is kind of in response to a mailbag comment. So without any, I'm just going to jump in. Hard shells versus soft shells. Soft shells. I like the majority of the materials I'm eating to be fully encased, or at least encased in a way that a hard shell, which opens out and kind of breaks and crunches into a million pieces and things fall out. I find soft shells much better. From a flavor perspective, if it's going to be a corn versus tortilla, I have been eating more corn. I've been eating more corn versus flour tortillas. The corn has a little bit of a hardier, earthier, a little bit more of a little bit of a grit to it, a little bit more fibrous. I do appreciate that. I like my tortillas. Sometimes when I make eggs in the morning, I'll put a tortilla on the surface and kind of get it a little bit toast, a little bit of butter, get it a little bit crisp, a little bit of a char. I like a warm, soft shell tortilla. That's my thing. Quesadillas. I love quesadillas. One of my favorite things that my dad used to make was these really delicious quesadillas, good cheeses, sour cream, black beans, some white rice or brown rice, a good grilled chicken or a beef, and a good sear on it. And it's just every bite has all those individual pieces that you want and love. A chimichanga is something that I've not recently experienced. I like chimichangas. It's everything that you get in a burrito, but it's deep fried. So, no one's calorie conscious when you're going to a restaurant and you're eating 18,000 chips before your meal even gets there. But my favorite Mexican dish is going to be a burrito, because once again, I like everything to be encased. I like that I can get a good bite and get all those flavors flowing. I like the softness. I don't find the crunch of the hard shell taco to be very interesting. And the question was, is a quesadilla closer to a taco or a burrito? Wow, I gotta think about that. I think burrito, but really, I don't know if that question. It's a good question. I think burrito is the answer. I think because when I think of taco, there's still a large part of my brain that goes hard shell. And when you're talking about a quesadilla, although there is an opening, it's not fully encased. To me, it's more of a burrito type meal. If I'm doing white rice or brown rice, I do like white rice. Black bean pinto, I'm going black bean. Carnitas versus grilled chicken versus ground beef, I think you go with the chicken or the carnitas. I think the ground beef is the least interesting, and it's got the least going for it. So those are some of my hot takes. I feel very strongly about soft shells. I feel very strongly about a corn tortilla as opposed to a flour. And I feel like if you're going to get a burrito, just upgrade to the chimichanga for that extra crunch. You get the crunch and the softness, and it's fried. So there you go. At 4 o'clock, we have a soccer match that is of a lot of significance for a lot of individuals. It's the Barcelona-Real Madrid game. Like I said before, Carlos Ancelotti, something like that. He's on the hot seat. He is the Real Madrid manager. He's one of the biggest names in European soccer. Real Madrid will probably not win the La Liga, even though, like I said, their team is essentially the Yankees on steroids. They have all the best players in all their positions, and they have the most resources and the most money. But it will show you that you can't have it all. On another soccer note, if you recall, if you are a dedicated, avid listener, viewer, you will recall that we talked about the fact that teams that are relegated, which is being pushed down, often, basically the 3 teams that just got promoted, all 3 of them are going back down next season in the Premier League. It is hard to go up a weight class and hold on to your position when everyone around you has more players, more experience, and more money and better infrastructure. So the 3 teams that came up to the championships, championships is the second tier. They want the teams that were promoted. They're all going to get relegated. So time will tell. I know the MLS is thinking about doing this. It is hard to make it work, but it is the best system because it destroys it nullifies the idea of tanking. It keeps it competitive, and it gives hope. Hope abounds. Hope is there for the teams that are on the cusp of getting up to the big leagues and having the chance to prove themselves, even though once you get there, it's awfully hard to stay. Okay. I think we're on topic 4 at this point. I was going to keep going. Zoos. I'm going to a lantern festival tonight at a local zoo. This is a mid-tier zoo in a mid-tier city. This is not a Washington D.C. zoo or San Diego zoo. This is a zoo that has a couple of the premier mammals. I think that when I think about zoos, I think of smaller zoos. They typically don't have the rhinos and the elephants and the lions and the tigers and those premier prestigious mammals that require a lot of money, a lot of space. This is a zoo that has tigers. They have some lions. They don't have, I don't believe, elephants or rhinos. Anyway, it's kind of one of those mid-sized zoos. You have some monkeys, you have a few great apes, and you have a lot of the smaller, interesting still, your bald eagles, and just some of your interesting animals that aren't the ones that are those sort of top tier, if you will. So this zoo does a lantern festival, which is a way to not only be able to walk through the zoo and you see animals. Actually, you see animals in a different way because this is at night, right? So most of the mammals that you want to see, people go during the worst hours because they're sleeping during the day, right? So this we've been before. It's we're going with a group of friends. I always say when you have a chance to do something with a friend in addition to your family. That's going to be a value add no matter what's going on, where you are. But zoos often do these kind of things to build people to come back. So this zoo for me doesn't have much allure because I've been so many times to see the animals. And until they get new animals and they replace animals, which is a slow, expensive process, you're mostly left with the same experience. So zoos that do like Bongtrip Oktoberfest, which is around here, where it's like you walk around and you drink beers from around the world, a wine festival. Some zoos have like big Lego displays or other different visual attractions. The Lantern Festival, I know this is a national touring thing. Many zoos take part in it. It's huge. It's a large zoo. I mean, zoos are large by nature, a lot of acres, and they have a lot high density of interesting displays. Whether it's like a praying mantis, whether it's more of a Chinese dragon, and some of the more Eastern Asian influences, and just big interesting things that look beautiful at night. And it's fun, and it's a way to charge a premium ticket price. People will buy food and tchotchkes from the gift shop, and I think if zoos are going to survive that aren't the National Zoo or the Chicago Zoo or the Bronx Zoo or the San Diego Zoo or the Columbus, I guess I'm naming a lot of zoos. Unless you're those guys, you have to, I think, to survive and to give endowment and enrichment to your animals. Endowment was not the right word there, but in order to give your animals the best experience, you need to make some additional revenue. And I think doing these events where you highlight the space is already there, you're just adding something to it. I think that's the future of zoos. And I've done a few of these events. I'm sure I'm missing some. A lot of them are based around drinking and walking and experiencing things, which is a perfectly fine thing to do. I'm not, advocating that everyone has to go and drink beers and walk around a zoo, but it's fun. This zoo did a Lego thing a couple years ago. Anyway, just different avenues of experiential stuff is where it's at. So I'm going to leave you with those notes. Be good, be humble. If you're humble, the people that matter, the people that need to see you, I promise you are going to notice your contributions. I promise you. And if those people, and if they're not, then you're not with the right people. You're just not. So stay humble, do the work, stay above the line, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.